Welcome to our podcast, where we extend what we do best here at Northern Prep Squad to you at home, giving you an honest insight into the industry from those who are living in it. Taking you through the highs and lows of being a performer, debunking some myths as well as advice and lots of inside scoop along the way. Hosted by me, Jordan, founder of Northern Prep Squad, actor, teacher and head agent at Management by Northern Prep. Joined by industry professionals and of course, some of our squad. So sit back, relax, and welcome to the Northern Prep Pod. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is Aarti, everybody.
Hello.
And Aarti is one of our management clients.
Yes.
And past musical theatre associate.
Yes.
Now you're at college, you're going to be auditioning soon.
I am.
How are you feeling about it?
It hasn't really hit me yet, but yeah, I think it will be stressful when it comes, but I'm just choosing not to think about it yet.
No, that's a good way to think about it. I mean, prep, but you're still prepping because you're training, right? So yeah, it's a lot. You've got it.
Yeah.
And you've got good people around you to talk about stuff anyway, haven't you? So, well, today I wanted to go into some of the work that you've done professionally. So, had you done anything before you were on management?
Not professionally.
You'd done Amdram shows and with your amazing school, which is
TBL. Tomball Life. Yes.
In Leeds. Leeds.
Yes, absolutely.
And Tomball's great. If you're in Leeds, check them out.
Yes.
So you'd done Amdram shows with them.
Yeah.
And obviously you're training through them. And then we ended up going to a bit of a management day, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we saw Aarti, heard her sing, saw her do a script and snapped her up. And then your first job with through the management was for Nike, wasn't it?
Yes.
I remember you getting that. Me and Jess were at Castleton. We were just about to go in a cave.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so excited, I dropped my phone and smashed my screen. Did I tell you that?
No. You didn't tell me.
I went, like that and dropped it and smashed my screen. And then I was trying to ring your mum, but she was at work. And I think she had to go to the toilet or something. I don't want to get in trouble. So I was Santosh, but I had to go and she's like, what's the matter? And I was like, she got a job. So what was that like going on that? Because it was more stills photography, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was still photography. It was completely different to what I'd expected.
How so?
Coming into management, I was always expecting film and TV, never still photography, because that was more of a modelling thing.
Yeah.
And I never thought that would come through. And that being my first opportunity was interesting, but I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. It was the first time on a set, and whilst it's still, they did a little bit of video, didn't they?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the main focus, was it?
No.
And how did you feel? Because how old were you?
I was year 10, so I was about 14.
Yeah. You had to go to London, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Oh, I was so excited. And it felt so weird because you hear so much about it, especially when you're only doing amateur performances and things. And all of this management stuff was new to me. So then going into it blind, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Mm-hmm. And
then when I'd shown up and there was someone there to do my hair or someone to take me on set, I was just, I don't know, not starstruck, but amazed.
You don't expect sometimes how big of a production it
Yeah.
actually is, especially even when it's something fairly small.
Yeah.
But then you've auditioned quite a lot for various amount of things.
Yeah.
Haven't you? You've done TV film commercials where you've had to play football for a self-tape or sing for a self-tape. I've had a few outtakes from Aarti's lack of tripod for a while, wasn't it?
We've got one now.
We've got one now. I'd get a few that just fall off, the camera would just fall and then you hear this. But yeah, so then we got an audition for a film through, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was for one of the main roles originally.
Yeah.
And then it felt like ages actually, didn't it? A couple of weeks or,
Yeah.
am I going to say a month maybe, potentially?
Yeah, I would say.
Then they asked you to audition for another role.
Yeah.
And you went in that time. You did.
Yes.
You did a recall for...
Yes.
And you actually were in the room.
Yeah.
Was it for a different? I think it was for a different role, wasn't it?
It was for the same role.
Oh, okay.
So the main role, I got auditioned and then recalled in Manchester.
Yes.
And then after the recall, they asked me to audition for a smaller part.
And then they
which
ended
was
up
just a self-tape.
And then they ended up giving you a random part that you hadn't auditioned for.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the difference between like the self-tapes and then the in-persons?
Having like, since I am in the era of self-tapes and there are less in-person auditions, I always built up the idea that recalls were really scary and like they'd be really like cutthroat with I don't know, just how you're getting on in them. But it was like the complete opposite. Self-tapes, I don't know, I get quite frustrated for self-tapes. I think it is good that you can do as many takes as you want, but also that comes with its downsides.
You can drive yourself insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to put it lightly.
Yeah. So the in-person you thought, because was it the in-person that made you think it was going to be scary, or was it the fact that it was a recall and it feels like more pressure because you're getting closer, I guess?
In person. I thought like the fact that it was a recall, I felt less pressured.
Oh,
for some reason. Like it was the reverse effect.
Yeah, that's good. I think because you obviously did something right that they liked.
Yeah.
So you go in to meet them, and were they all horrible on the panel, or were they really nice?
No, it was like the friendliest experience ever. But you just make that image in your head that it'll be really scary and like people are against you, but they're not.
They want you to. They've got a job to do, and they've got you in the room because hopefully you can be the right person, and then they can go, brilliant, I could go home.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So they must have seen something in you that then, with all those self-tapes and then the in-person, that they actually just offered you a role that you hadn't auditioned for.
Yeah.
And then I remember on the phone them telling me, I was in Cornwall, and I remember them on the phone saying, oh, we had her in mind from this audition for this role.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right. Because I was thinking, what role is this?
Yeah.
Because I'd not recognised it. But so tell us about being on set then, because it was you were out of licensing.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you that don't know, children have to be licensed to work. But when you're out of year 11, you can basically be unlicensed. You would still get chaperoned, but you don't have to be licensed anymore. So that's sometimes why it's great to be that age, so that the licensing process can sometimes take long. So they didn't need you to be licensed. So I think we got an offer on like the Wednesday or something, and then you were in next Monday.
Yeah.
It was fast.
It was really
And your mum and dad were on holiday.
Yeah, they were. I had to Uber all the way to York from Leeds.
With your sister, didn't you? Your sister
and
went with you.
And then she left without me. She went home early.
Rude.
Yeah.
But I remember you were panicking. I think we had a FaceTime just before, didn't we?
We've had many panicked FaceTimes.
Many panic FaceTimes.
But yeah.
But what were you worried about?
I think the fact that my parents weren't there. I was worried that it wasn't going to run smoothly in terms of getting there. But also working for the first time on a set for such a big production. Obviously it's a film. It's not like what I did before. It wasn't still photography. And I guess it was fear of unknown, really.
Yeah. And when I remember ringing you after or getting a voice note or something, you were like, it was fine.
Yeah.
It went fine. I really enjoyed it. Because it is that fear of the unknown that can sometimes send you into panic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like you say, the getting there, the logistics of things. What if I'm late? I don't want to make a bad impression, all those things. I don't want to forget a line.
Yeah.
Which you didn't.
It was also like on an airstrip. Like the base was on an airstrip. So our driver, he was getting really concerned, and I was like, I don't know. It was like 3 a.m, it was pitch black, and I was like, I can see lights over there. But yeah, I think it is fear of the unknown, really. But now that I've done it, I want to do it so much more. When you realise how much fun it is. And like, yeah, it is stressful, like the recall and the self-tapes and learning everything. But once you're there, it's just so worth it. Even if it was for like one scene, I only really did one scene, But
also I think that's good that you had that opportunity to see that. If you'd have gone into that as a main role, it might have, I don't know.
Yeah, I've said that quite a few times. Like even my mum says it a lot. It's good to have that like little glimpse of what it will be like rather than facing it full on. But yeah.
And is there anything in particular, I know you've done our mindset sessions before, but like, is there anything in particular that you find is helpful for you pre-auditions, whether that be like a structure on how to prepare, or whether that's like something you do before you get out of the car into the in-person? Is there anything that you've got in your locker that you found works for you to calm yourself down? Or
just not thinking about it all the time. I feel like there's this like misconception that you have to be on it all the time. So when it comes to learning material, I carried quite a bit of the scene, so I had quite a few lines to remember, and obviously it was a short turnaround. But I found, for me personally, it might not work the same for everyone. It's important to give yourself the space from the work. I feel like if you think about it too much, you will think about it too much.
Yeah.
And overthink.
I think you're right in saying I do that with my preparation for self-tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Is I'll read it and then go and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Come back to it, go and watch an episode of it. I think sometimes that like honing in on it can sometimes end up nothing goes in, does it?
Yeah. And I think it's also allowing yourself to have that time, because sometimes if it's something you really like this script I really liked at first for the lead role, I found myself relating to it a lot, which makes you kind of want it more.
Yeah.
Like I found myself when I wasn't rehearsing it and taking that time away, I was busy feeling guilty about not doing it. But it's important, if you are taking that time away from it, you need to take the time away from it and like remove yourself from it.
Yeah. And then come back to it with fresh eyes, because then you've always got something else to find. If you sometimes concentrate on it too much, you actually miss so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. Take the time off.
Yeah.
Right. We have got a little photo here that I would like to talk about. So I asked you to bring in something that like from your performing time that sprung joy. So what is this photo, Aarti?
So this photo is me singing There She Goes from Fame. So I did Fame in 2021. No,
it wasn't that long ago, was it?
2022.
Is this the one I came to see?
Or was it 2023?
I don't know. Life's going so fast, guys, but...
It was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And in this picture, I'm singing There She Goes because I played Carmen in Fame at the Carriage Works in Leeds. And it was like the first time where I'd had that principal role outside of like a school production and somewhere where it's open to the general public. And I'd really struggled with this role, like to be open about it. I'd always, like my self-confidence always got in the way of it.
Okay.
And I think just seeing myself singing there, it took a lot for me to get to that point and enjoy it. And it's just, I feel like it's important to remember that there is hardship that comes with doing what you love. Like, obviously you said earlier, like, we're starting to do our hobbies as our job. But even then, it's not all like sunshine and rainbows. It is difficult.
Yeah. You're still going to work.
Yeah.
And I think where you can find the joy in things, and also like the pride in that achievement as well, even looking back.
Yeah.
I remember you were quite young to be talking about the themes that character goes through, which is like not impossible, but like it's so far removed from your actual life that it can sometimes feel very weighty to do it justice. And I think you still have to find the joy in it, whether the storyline is quite hard hitting or the job is really difficult or the song's really hard and you've got to put the work in. But then I think enjoying it, and sometimes that does come on show day, but it's definitely a thing to think about moving forward with, like on the creative side of things. I know you're doing NYT this week, but like that creative process, I think trying to find the joy in, even like you said, you loved that character that you first auditioned for, and so the work for the self-tape wasn't as maybe difficult as if you hadn't. So trying to find the joy in the creating can actually make the performance and the job all that sweeter, can't it?
Like when I look at that picture, it just reminds me to like trust the process, because I'm really happy in that picture, but throughout rehearsals I'd always struggled and I'd found it difficult because the songs weren't going how I wanted them to, or I'm playing a really confident character but in myself I wasn't confident. So yeah, like you can get to that point. You just have to trust the process.
100% trust the process.
Yeah.
Because we're going to actually, as actors, be in the process more than we are sometimes in the job. So,
Yeah.
like, trying to find that from an early age, I mean, I didn't have that at an early age, so
Yeah.
I'm glad you're finding it. Oh, I love that. Trust the process, guys. And you can sing, I was going to say, belt you something off, but it's for kids here, so we're not going into that one. Amazing, Aarti. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
No, I've loved it.
So have I.
And let's see what happens to you in the future. What's your dream?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
No.
Open to things.
I'm open to many things. Like, since I've gone to college, I've been doing a lot more of the music side as well as musical theatre. So I feel like it's just all up in the air. I don't know. I want to have loads of experience in everything, which sounds like a lot, but that, I would say at the minute, that's my dream.
Amazing.
I want to experience a bit of everything.
And then you'll see where it takes you.
Yeah.
I think more people should have that, actually, philosophy, because I think we can get quite one-track minded with things, can't we?
I feel like your dreams change, though. So I'm just not setting one
Not set.
right now. Yeah.
Open.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I can't wait to follow you. Don't forget me.
I'll never forget you, Jordan.
Thank you so much, Aarti.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us today. And if you're interested in joining the squad, either as an associate, a management client, or just joining one of our summer opportunities, head to our website, www.northernprepsquad.co.uk, or check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. All the links can be found in our show notes. Thanks for listening.